DeSantis has signed the Teddy Bridgewater Act. That is because Teddy Bridgewater was basically trying to help fund players' expenses like their meals, transportation, rehab, without other support costs. And he got suspended after spending over $200,000 of his own money trying to help players in the community with rides, food, recovery expenses, and more. So DeSantis said, listen, he got into the situation where he was paying for meals and rides for some of the players who were underprivileged. And he said that they called Teddy Bridgewater a mentor, and therefore he was just trying to make a difference in their lives. And he said that this shouldn't have happened. And so now he officially changed the rules for it. So he, it's interesting that DeSantis has taken some of these steps to things. There's some things I'm like, that's cool. Some things I'm like, I don't know about you. But shout out to him on this law. Teddy Bridgewater's just trying to help some youth, be active. We just talked about obesity, right? We just talked about learning and being motivated in school and so forth. And I'm glad to see when I talk about like lawmakers and such stepping out, I appreciate him for doing that. So I just wanted to shout about real quick on that, give a little bit of drip. Because know who don't care about your kids? These billionaires. He said it's 100% completely unsustainable. Nearly 50% of all consumers' spending now comes at the top 10% of earners, and the bottom 80% will keep falling. Peter Mallett, the CEO of Wealth Management, shared a graph showing this. I don't know if they're going to show. I can't remember if I can see the graph. I don't think so. But basically, long story short, he's saying that the divide is going to keep spreading. And you got people like Teddy Bridgewater trying to help, right? As this disparity continues to widen. So shout out to Ron DeSantis to try to help this little bit of the pie get through day to day, because according to this, I'm trying to remember what is he called. He is a wealth management firm, creative planning CEO. It ain't getting better no time soon. Now, I do want to note this though. Everybody ain't broke. Okay. I know we see on TikTok, we see on Instagram and everything else. Things have increased for everybody, right? But everybody's also not broke. So as we go into these conversations, like, oh, everybody's hurting, you might very well be talking to one of these folks who ain't hurting. If you talk about, man, it's real hard to make sure I can pay this $5 a gallon, they're like, So everybody ain't hurting. Now, I'm not saying they ain't this 10%, but there's some people in there that ain't hurting too. But I do think most of anybody is feeling the lack of pocketing. I don't care how rich you are. Like, unless you're in that 10%, you're still not as well off as you would have been. Because imagine this way. Even if you
depends
have
on where your
savings,
wealth is, to be honest.
Yeah. Because
some
even
people
if you
are house rich, some people are asset rich, but they're not liquid, if that makes sense.
I hear, but hold on this though. If gas wasn't $5, it was $3. Don't matter who you are, you still lost $2 of profit. If it would have never went up that $2, no matter where your money is at, it still affects everybody. Because even if you are making other money somewhere else, you still would have had more money if it would have stayed at $3. It still took $2 out your pocket.
The wherewithal to be able to switch. Some people they switched over completely to Uber driving, or they use their businesses in order to transport themselves and all that. There's ways that you go around it, but I want to get back to the Teddy Bridgewater law. So
okay,
what we can assume about this is like NIL stuff, college athletes that can pull into this, right? So there's a financial literacy angle here, and where I'm going with is remember he got game. Remember that that's
no,
what I'm
it's
trying
high school.
to say is
it's high school, by the way.
I understand.
Yeah. Okay.
But prospective college, because after high school, it actually increases your chances of getting really lower level NBA money if you get an NIL deal. So this law is for players, and really it's talking about branding because it uses the player's name here. So inside of it is real rules really about eligibility, transfers, and money for young athletes. So really, an athlete really doesn't understand the contract or the law, and everyone around them kind of eats first. So and just like in He Got Game, right? Daddy was pressing and all of that kind of stuff, right? So think of it as high school, kind of like minor leagues. Really, it's an equity deal. If you gonna get nasty about it, and where the law is trying to protect in a smaller sense. So as athletes have gotten more savvy about their financial literacy early, you got to kind of catch them earlier, right? Flavored vapes, that kind of stuff. That's where I'm getting at. So the kid is now the startup company, and the law determines who can actually take a cut and win. So anytime a politician slaps an athlete's name on the law, you need to ask yourself two questions: who gets paid and who actually gets played in that situation? So that leads us back into that inequality warning that the billionaire have here. So, U.S. billionaires hold trillions in wealth now. And so the federal survey shows, or the Fed survey, not federal, Fed survey shows 37 to 40% of Americans can't cover a $400 emergency without borrowing or selling something. That's significant. So the wealth manager here have types, right? And we're calling that the inequality here is 100% unsustainable. And that means that even some of the winners think the game is getting unsustainable now. They're like, yeah, I'm winning, but shit, I don't know if I want to run this race. I'm ahead, but I'm not feeling this. I think I'm running ahead into a damn ditch. I'm winning the race, but it doesn't feel like I'm winning right now.
The race is cool. The marathon, not so much.
Right. So extreme inequality actually dampens demand, and this is where a lot of people are feeling it. You got restaurants, they're saying, please come in, and you got McDonald's saying, please, baby, please, right? So if the median household is being tapped out, corporate earnings and political stability both eventually are going to take a hit, and they're going to start wobbling. So historically, when the top gets too far from the middle, you get either big policy swings, like a Mamdani type, all that kind of stuff, or you get social unrest, or you get both. So when people start managing billions and start saying that the gap is unsustainable as they count their money, that's not socialism. That's risk management. That's bunker buying. That's all that kind of stuff. Hanging on the child line.
That part. We ain't there. That's when the Jeffersons is just a damn TV show. It's not life. We ain't moving up. We just staying stable at this point.
Trying to stay still. Trying to not go down.
Look, we barbecuing every day now. It ain't just weekends. It's like, shit, let's throw. You know what, baby? Right. It feels nice outside. We should throw something on the grill. You be looking like, damn.
Because that natural gas is too damn high.
Yeah, but mama, I want McDonald's. Boy, we got cold, slider fluid, and sausage at home. What the hell is you talking about?
Politics at the kitchen table. Big dreams stacked on a cable. Left, right, we label the fables. Still keep a love on the label. This that daily drip, baby.